What's up, everyone? Wow, good way to start things off. What's up, everyone? Shoe Booty Sports coming at you Tuesday night. Per the always, I'm Grandpa on this screen. That's Bradley on the other. Say what's popping, Bradley.
What is popping?
Man, I don't know. A few things here and there. There were a couple of big games. One of which was a big one, and it was kind of sort of interesting. Maybe I don't know. We'll talk about it and some more. But first, before we get going, let's give a quick shout out to our sponsor. Shoe Booty Sports is presented by Rhino Races. Rhino Races is a virtual race series that offers 5 different races: a 5K, 10K, half marathon, a marathon, and the one of a kind Rhino Ultra. You can sign up for one or all five of their races at rhinoraces.com. Run your race at your convenience. Track it with your fitness app of choice. Screenshot your results as proof of completion. Submit that screenshot to rhinoraces.com under the submit results section. Once your results are verified by Rhino Races staff, your reward will be shipped to you by mail. Also, check out their gear section while you're there for t-shirts, wristbands, decals, and more. That's rhinoraces.com. Rhino Races is the premier virtual running series, and you can find us, Shoe Booty Sports, on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow us on X at Shoe Booty Sports. Before we get going, of course, obviously the Super Bowl took place, so we'll discuss that. But I just decided to look up the ESPN app, the worldwide leader and all, just to see what's going on in the sports world that maybe I don't know about, apart from Super Bowl, Winter Olympics, etc. What everything else going on, and Montana linebacker. Okay, I got to look up his first name again because Solomon. Here we go. Tuliaupupu. That's my best shot at it. It's spelled
Uh,
Tuliaupupu. So if I may have butchered that, may have nailed it. I don't know. Probably butchered it. I'm going to go with nailed it though. He was granted by the NCAA a ninth year of eligibility to play football. He originally started his career at USC in 2018. He was sidelined for his entire undergraduate campaign at SC after two surgery requiring injuries impacting his foot and knee. The foot in 2018, knee in 2020. The linebacker's first season at Miami and eighth overall, which was just this past season, was just his second full season played and third game with action. So just his third game that he played this past season since 2018. So he's being granted a ninth year of eligibility to play football. I don't know how old that's going to make him. That isn't listed here,
it's got to be
but
like 28.
yeah, ninth year of eligibility, and only his third game was played a season ago. Like actual game action was a season ago. 3 games in since
What
28
position?
linebacker. At what
Man,
point do you say, you know what, maybe college football isn't for me? Maybe I just need to focus on school. Like, I mean, if he's just going for,
golly. If he's still taking classes, he's got to have something wrong in the head. I mean, you've already finished up your undergraduate classes, especially being an athlete. You don't really pick the hardest majors out there. So you're probably going to have your degree done within that 4 years because they do the year round school and they do the summer courses, everything else. He could be on, I mean, he could be a doctor by now
that's what I'm thinking.
if he's still taking courses. But I doubt he's been taking courses for the last 5 years.
You're
So
right
he's literally
about,
just been hanging out and playing football.
well, no, he hasn't. He hasn't been playing football. That's the point. Uh, more reason for him to have a good major. Like, yes, some athletes, most athletes, I would say, don't have a challenging major. It's just something that they do so that they can play football, and they usually take the easier path so that they can focus more on football and do well in those classes enough to be able to stay on the football field. Brett Bielema at Arkansas always bragged, him and Jeff Long both always bragged about the team's GPA. It's like, yeah, well, the vast majority of your team majors in recreation. I'm not here to bash recreation, but it's not pre med. It's not engineering. It's not a challenging degree from what I've gathered about it. Um, if you've only played 3 games in 8 years, I don't think and you're at Montana, right? Or yeah, Montana. An NFL future for a professional football career is, although I mean, today's NIL, who knows? But I don't think he's getting much money though if he's only played 3 games and he's at Montana. I don't think professional football is in your future. I think you need to have a good major, something that's going to lead to a job that's going to get you paid, and so you can make money and support yourself for the rest of your life.
In his defense, if he spent an extra 5 years around football at collegiate level, he's set up to be a hell of a assistant coach or a coach. He's
Perhaps,
well on that path to becoming a coach. If
perhaps.
he's been paying attention at all over the last 8 seasons, soon to be 9.
So why not go ahead and do that? This is my point. Like, at what point do you say, you know what? I don't think this is for me. I need to get on with my actual life.
I mean, can't blame him. It's his dream. He's technically still got a shot.
What's the dream? Like, play college football? I mean,
Maybe
you got 3 games. I'm with.
his
Go back to Cal. You got 5 years to play 4.
maybe his dream is to play a full season.
It doesn't look like that's going to happen no matter what happens at this point. I mean, if you only played 3 games total since 2018, I don't think you're going to be in line to be a starter. You're not going to get better with age at the collegiate level. A new crop of talent's coming in every year, and it's only going to they. He gets older, they stay the same age, as Matthew McConaughey said in Dazed and Confused. So I don't know. There's at a certain point you need to get on with your life. Okay,
Yes.
and I yeah, his priorities seem to be out of whack, and by seem they seem out of whack. Okay, I'll just stick with the first sentence there. Anyway, just wanted to touch that up. We're not going to do a whole episode on that, but that was funny to me to see that. Good for him, I suppose. Um, okay, have before we get to the Super Bowl, have you caught much of the Winter Olympics?
No. I watched them do the luge on Saturday, I think.
What is the luge?
It's like where the one person goes down on their back on the sled.
Oh,
Down the Yeah. I'd rather watch the skull where they go down head first,
yeah, that's brutal. That's
but
crazy.
yeah. I mean both of them are crazy. But skull, yeah. A little bit crazier. But yeah, I
That's
haven't
crazy.
watched anything else.
I watched some skiing. I watched the snowboarding, like the getting air off the ramp, whatever you call it. That was really cool. Uh, I saw some highlights of curling. My girlfriend is really into the Winter Olympics. In fact, we both shared a Peacock subscription, and I wanted to go ahead and end it just so I could spend it on. I think because I ended up getting Netflix, right, and it was like it's better to just get my own account and cheaper that is. And she said, "Well, I want to keep Peacock because the Winter Olympics are coming up, and I can watch it on NBC anyway because we both have YouTube TV." And I I didn't watch any of the Winter Olympics the last time it came around, and I just had this idea that the Winter Olympics weren't entertaining, and or that I don't like it as much as I do the Summer Olympics, which is true. But I had it for some reason in my mind that it just wasn't entertaining for me. I was entertained pretty much every bit that I turned on the Winter Olympics. Even figure skating. I watched some of the figure skating, especially the duo, the cut like the man and the woman out there, couple, whatever you call it.
Yeah.
That's incredible the stuff that they do. I don't know how they do any of that and do it so perfectly. And I think as they did that, of course, I watched Team USA, the group I saw. They as a team they won gold. And
Married
as I
couple.
watched what
Married couple.
I don't know if they're married or not. They seem to kind of be together, perhaps. A blonde dude and black hair chick. Either way, they nailed it. I was convinced you would have convinced me they were married just watching that routine. It was that perfect. And I just think of all the hours and times you fall getting that right, especially with some of the acrobatic stuff they did. And the curly headed blonde dude who from what I've gathered, Melanin maybe is his name, Melanin.
On the quad god, that guy.
I don't know, but he did like a quadruple axle followed by a triple axle, and then did a full on just backflip, and not
Yeah.
with his legs curled up, just with the legs extended, just a full on backflip on the ice. I was like, this is nuts. How I ever bet. I take back everything I said about the Winter Olympics not being entertaining. I was dead wrong. This last year has been a year of reflection for me. Excuse me. I've just had these goofball takes that Thanksgiving wasn't as big of a deal. And I had Thanksgiving, had the food and everything this past year. Not that I've ever had it before, but it just clicked with me that I'm an idiot and Thanksgiving's awesome. And it's an awesome holiday, top tier holiday. Winter Olympics, also awesome. Top tier athleticism. I've had this is a year of reflection for me, growing, evolving as a person. I'll chalk it up to that. I I've had two. I mean, I've had many goofball takes, but those are two goofball takes that I've had. That Thanksgiving isn't as big of a holiday as say a Christmas, or isn't a top tier holiday. I'll put it that way to summarize, and that the Winter Olympics isn't that entertaining. Dead wrong on both. Love them both. So I'm glad I sat down and watched some of those. But it's been very entertaining. Lindsey Vaughn, what is she? 46?
Yeah.
I think she's
She's
46.
been around the block a couple of times. Yeah, hats off to her, man. Carrying a what, ACL or MCL and still be like, yeah, I'm still gonna compete. Didn't work
Uh,
out for her once competition started. I mean, she made it through some practice runs and looked good, and then had a stroke of bad luck on her competition run. So
I was gonna say, what are we saying? Hats off to her ripping her leg
competing,
again. Uh,
competing, just having the confidence of like, hey, yeah, my leg's messed up. I'm still gonna go out there and represent my country.
yes, completely badass move on her part. Nothing but respect. As I was watching that trial run that you talked about, the practice run, already knowing she had a torn ACL because she's got a long history of injuries. And
Yes.
when I saw that, I just thought, yeah, okay, how many ACLs has she gone through? ACL injuries. From what I gather, you only get two. I'm no rocket surgeon, but I think you're only blessed with two ACLs. Some people, not even that. But yeah, watching that practice run, I don't know how you do any of that with a torn ACL.
No,
The
not at all.
ACL is responsible for a
Hey,
running back being able to cut and turn and be great. You have to do all that in skiing, especially at
and
skiing
yeah,
like
and while going over 85 miles an hour going down a hill. There was guys hitting 90 miles an hour on that track going down that. Can you imagine?
that's fast. The women, I think they were in the 70s. Either way,
Well,
it's
still,
really really fast. And to have to turn, it's not like you're going straight. You're having to turn, cut. And to think that she could do that on a torn ACL or with a torn ACL, that's wild to me. I mean,
she did
kudos
it.
for trying. She
She,
did, but when it came time for competition, it was bad. Of course, competition's another level,
yeah,
different than a practice run. But yes, tough way to end things for Lindsey Vaughn. I would assume she's done after that, and should be. I mean,
should be.
you've done enough. At a certain point, go do other things. You can still have a career in the sport some
She had
way,
done
shape, or
enough
form, just not
8
as a
years ago.
professional. Longer than that, yeah.
Yeah.
What 2010? She was competing, I think, if my math is correct on
Oh
that.
yeah. She's been competing for a while, for at least the last 20 years. So that's five Olympics,
Yeah, I
Winter
don't know.
Olympics.
It's a very decorated skiing career, maybe the most decorated. I don't know. I don't know the numbers on that. But yeah, hats off to a phenomenal career, Lindsey Vaughn. I don't know what all they have going on tonight. Do you have a okay? There's some speed skating too. Watching that and how they have to weave in and out on each lap. That's interesting. Do you have a Winter Olympic favorite or that you look forward to?
If I can catch it, it would be the skull, but I don't think I've caught it in like the last two Olympics.
Yeah, I haven't either.
Or the long jump. Just something about going down a gigantic ramp and trying to plan your body out to make yourself glide as far as you can is ridiculous to me. Apparently, some of the athletes were doing some eye-opening experiments with their body for the long jump. Did you hear anything about that?
No.
Injecting like something into their crotchal region. I don't even know, but yeah, it was crazy. But
What's the
all to get,
purpose of that one? And I don't think that's eye opening. I think that's something else opening.
yeah. Well, I don't know. Maybe they were just trying to add some extra surface area to help glide. I don't know. I didn't
What
click on the article because I thought it was so outrageous.
what was the what would be the purpose of doing that is my point. Why would you do that?
To get something bigger to allow more surface area to get you more lift while you're gliding through the air. I don't know.
Okay. I
That's
heard you.
only, huh?
Did I hear you right? Where was this injected?
Oh, into the main vein.
Oh,
Your penis.
yeah, your crotch. Okay. Some jackass neighbor of mine, I don't know where, I don't know if it's on the other side of the street or a couple of houses down or something. They are blaring their music in their car to the point where I can just hear boom, 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 boom.
Got some
Um,
cool neighbors.
they're assholes, but um, at least those people are, whoever the hell they are. Um, say right to their face. So I was just making sure I heard all of that correctly because I was listening to that and there's boom, boom, boom just going through my ears. This is as we're doing this podcast here for many, many viewers. But anyway, okay. My favorite, the skull, that's a good one. Curling is weirdly entertaining to me.
Yes.
Um,
Because you feel like you could do it.
yeah, and I just like the people that are doing it because there's some real kind of goofball looking people do it that just I mean that's right up my alley that excel at it. I, but I wouldn't say that's my favorite. It would be like bobsled is one, bobsledding, and Olympic hockey, like especially Team USA. When Team USA and Canada go at it, that's some good stuff, especially with the medal on the line. What was it, a couple Olympics ago that it was Team USA and Canada in the gold medal game, and Canada wins it in overtime on Sidney Crosby's goal. Um, the U.S. can't beat Canada in the big one. Of course, they faced off a couple of times in that whatever they
The
called it.
women can, but the men can't, right?
I probably right. I'm talking about the men. That's what I'm referencing. But Canada is basically, I mean, it's their sport, right?
Yes.
And but it's yeah, I want to see the U.S. Get it done, man. As an American, but those are the two ones I really kind of look forward to. But I like all of them. I mean, they're all pretty entertaining and have been so far. It's incredible what they can do. And basically, I've been wrong for saying it's not as entertaining. It's very entertaining. So just wanted to touch up on that before we move on. So let's do so. Super Bowl. What I don't even know the Roman numerals at this point. I can't read them
660.
anymore. 60.
60.
Okay, 60 even. Super Bowl 60. Gosh, we're getting old. Uh, Super Bowl 60 played in at Candlestick in San Francisco for Seattle, New England. You and I both had I listened to this show today when I was at work just because I didn't have anything to listen to. I didn't have an audiobook available or anything like that. So I just turned on our podcast just to refresh my memory of what we talked about. We both had Seattle. I thought it would be a closer game than it was, than it certainly was,
Uh,
and you thought it would be a little bit wider margin in Seattle's favor. You were closer to correct
with
than I
with some style points at the end on Patriots' behalf, which that came true. So yeah, it was a snooze fest that whole first half.
Utter dominance by Seattle. Yeah, just complete dominance. Drake May couldn't do anything. I said I said I would take Drake May over Sam Darnold on that episode. And I was just shaking my head as I was listening back to it. Like, yeah, Drake May was terrible. Now, it wasn't all his fault. The line could not hold up. They could not block the front four of Seattle's defense. If you can't, it's like Chris Collinsworth said, if you can't block the front four, just the front four, you don't have a chance. And that was certainly the case Sunday. New England really had no shot. Couldn't get anything going. And the times Drake May did have opportunities, he missed them. I mean, he missed them, and yeah, Seattle didn't have to do that much. They didn't. They It was 9-0 at the half, and you didn't get the feeling New England would be able to do anything offensively. Of course, they had that. I mean, Drake May did throw a dime to Matt Collins for a touchdown, and then went out and threw a pick that you can't defend the following possession. Then you're like, okay. And then Seattle, I think, went down, scored, and that was pretty much a wrap for the most part. I mean, yeah, boring game. If you got to really like defense to enjoy that game, and I like defense, but I don't like it that much. It was a boring game. It was the most boring game I've watched since Seattle blew out Denver. Peyton Manning in Denver in whatever season that was, 2013 maybe. Not I
Around there.
wasn't Yeah, I wasn't very entertained. I had good food. I had the girlfriend over. I mean, I still watched the game, just kind of hoping something would happen. Like when Drake May did throw that touchdown to Matt Collins, I was like, hey, maybe we got something here. And then he goes out and throws a pick on the following possession. And then Seattle scored. And I'm like, okay, well, that's pretty much a wrap. But not my favorite Super Bowl by any means.
No, not at all. And I'd
Number
probably put it below the uh the game where the Broncos got blew out.
Really?
Because at least I like the Broncos. At least I wanted to see them in the Super Bowl.
Mhm.
I didn't care about either one of these teams.
Hang on. That Broncos team, they made it to the Super Bowl, but they didn't show up to the Super Bowl. That was the worst performance I've ever seen from a team in the Super
Um,
Bowl. I was
Carolina was
pissed
pretty
off.
close too.
I
Cam
was
Newton's
pissed
Super
off
Bowl was
at
pretty close.
Peyton Manning for that Super Bowl because because they had beaten the Patriots to get there, and I said, "You can't tell me Tom Brady wouldn't have made this a game. He absolutely would, because he did. He went and beat that same team a couple of years. No, the next year, the very next year, Tom Brady got to that game and beat that vaunted Seattle defense.
If
It
only
helped
they would
that
have handed it
it
off. But
yeah, it helped that Seattle tried to throw the ball at the goal line when he had beast mode in the backfield. But either way, Tom Brady made that a game and was moving the ball and throwing touchdowns against that Seattle secondary and defense at the end of the game. Um, Peyton Manning and the Broncos didn't do that. That was an awful performance in game as far as from a competitive standpoint. And that was prime Russell Wilson too. That was kind of his coming out party actually. Um, that was the least entertaining Super Bowl I've ever watched. Sunday's game was second. It was a clear cut second, but it was definitely second. Uh, some takeaways. I mean, Cooper Cup had a few catches, gets his second ring. He didn't. He has not had the same anywhere near the level of production he had at LA with Matt Stafford at quarterback, and that's going to be the case if Matt Stafford's not your quarterback and somebody else is, whether it's Geno Smith or Sam Darnold, which was an upgrade. Some people thought Mina Kimes, I'm thinking of in particular, said this is a bad move for Seattle to get rid of Geno Smith and bring in Sam Darnold, and that take did not age well at all.
Nope.
Uh, I thought it was an upgrade to get Sam Darnold. You got a guy that was 14-3 with Minnesota, and Minnesota said, "No, we're gonna move on from you and go with this JJ and go with JJ McCarthy." And that was another decision that did not age well. So multiple things tied with Sam Darnold just did not age well at all. But it aged well for Sam Darnold, man. He made he didn't have to do much, and he knew that, and he made plays when he had to. And Seattle won the Super Bowl, and he's a Super Bowl champion quarterback.
On his fifth team. How crazy is that?
I'm and I'm happy for the dude. The
Yeah.
guy had to, I mean, he had to be drafted. He was drafted by the Jets, which is the worst spot you can land. I'm convinced as a quarterback, an NFL quarterback, even worse than Cleveland. The Jets is. I was really hoping the year Trevor Lawrence came out of the NFL draft that he would not be drafted, that the Jets wouldn't have the number one pick because I knew his career would be over. It would be it wouldn't last, or there certainly wouldn't be success. I was like, just please don't let it be the Jets. Fortunately, it wasn't, and I mean the Jets are there every year. You know, they're in that lottery pick position every year. For the version of that is for the NFL.
Always in rebuild mode.
Always in rebuild mode, always in top five of the draft, and they never get better. They just stay terrible. Uh, Cleveland pretty close to that too, but even Cleveland will have a playoff team every so often, and I guess technically the Jets do too. But it's been a while, and it's a poorly run organization, and yeah, it's for Darnold to go from that and all the other teams he went through, and then get a shot in Minnesota. When did it really happen that they people said, "Oh, there's something here"? Was it in Carolina that they said, "Okay, we see enough here that I think this guy's starting to get it as an NFL quarterback. Let's take a shot. Let's take a shot on him."
Yeah, because it definitely was in Carolina. It definitely wasn't in New York. Um, yeah, Vikings seen enough to where they're like, yeah, we'll roll the dice on this guy. But I'd say Carolina.
Well, he went from the Jets. I know he was at San Francisco at some point. Was that after the Jets or Carolina?
I think that was after Carolina. He
Okay.
got brought in as the backup to Purdy.
Yeah, I think that's right. If either way, he learned something from Kyle Shanahan. He got something out of that. But I think it was Carolina that they said, okay, he's starting to figure something out where he could be a quarterback in this league, or at least a productive one. You're only going to pick up more information from Kyle Shanahan and company. You go to Minnesota, that's a good situation for a quarterback. Offensive head coach, good talent around you, good team if the quarterback's right, and they go 14-3. And then they said we're gonna go to this guy that we drafted in the first round, JJ McCarthy. I mean, it kind of makes sense on paper, but because otherwise you have to pay Sam Darnold, and you think just going back to their position, you think, do I want to give this guy $100 million, Sam Darnold? And when we got this guy here that was this first round pick that we drafted, no, we're going to go to this other guy. It makes sense, but in hindsight, it was a terrible idea. So Seahawks get what I say is an upgraded quarterback because Geno Smith goes to Vegas, and I think his career's it might be over.
It's
It
over.
certainly as a starter for sure. He was terrible in Vegas this year, absolutely terrible. If anything, I mean, he looked good at times in Seattle. It's looking more. It looks like Seattle. The situation made him, and it does for some quarterbacks. Um, a lot of quarterbacks even, but it really made him better in Seattle based on what we saw in Vegas. And Darnold goes there and thrives. Now he did have some bad games, but did he have a turnover in the postseason?
No,
Yeah,
0 turnovers.
it was similar to Flacco's run when he and Baltimore won the Super Bowl. I don't think he had a turnover the entire postseason. At least not like 9 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, something like that. Darnold, very similar. The one team that could beat them, Seattle, were the Rams. And Darnold was lights out. I mean, Stafford was too, but Darnold was also over 300 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, no turnover, no picks, and uh, Rams made enough mistakes to for Seattle to get it done, get to the Super Bowl, and then Seattle got there and made it look easy. That defense, where would where would you rank Seattle's defense of this year all time? And well, I'll just ask this question. We won't go there. I'll just ask this question. You taking the defense on Sunday, or you taking the defense from Seattle's last Super Bowl team? Which do you think is better, if you had to say?
Ah, man. It's
Not easy,
tough.
is it?
I mean, I don't know. What's their nickname for this year? We had the Legion of Boom, and this was what?
Well, yeah, Legion of Boom was obviously the first one. Just
Yeah,
clarifying for those
they
listening.
had some new nickname for this year's team. I don't know, man. I think the team that had the worst blowout. I mean, they were responsible for it. I mean, they shut down the Broncos. They should have won 3 in a row, man. If they would just handed the ball off,
Three in a
right?
row? I don't know.
Well, they
Two
were
in a row.
2 in a row, but didn't they make it? Didn't they make it 3 out of 4 years?
No, no, I don't know
Yeah,
what you're talking.
maybe I'm misremembering. I don't know. That's
They
tough,
got there.
man.
They got there the following year and should have been back to back Super Bowls. But after that, the wheels kind of came off. They started to come off after that. They weren't the same team anymore. Guys started to go get paid, and they weren't the same team after that. It's hard to have a dynasty in the NFL. It's hard to just repeat in the NFL, much less have a dynasty.
I say that one from back in the day. I
Yeah,
don't
it's
remember
tough.
them getting. I don't remember them getting boat raced or winning a boat race like this year's team did with the Rams.
That's the Stafford factor too, though. I mean, Brady did that to Seattle. Not quite like Stafford did to the Seattle team. I guess I would agree with you, but man, that Seattle defense now is really really good. They're
Tough.
especially
They
up.
looked hard all season.
Yeah, I mean, I had them on my fantasy team. I fell into that pick. I wanted Philly's defense, and then the guy before me took them, and I said, "Well, I guess I'll settle for Seattle." The greatest settlement I've ever had in my life, as far as a draft pick or maybe life decision goes. Seattle's defense, and by far and away the best in the league. Had I played my cards right, I would have won the league championship, largely because of them. But
Oh yeah.
yeah, it's what it is. Great defense. It's an all-time great defense. I don't know where you'd rank them, but it's definitely an all-time great defense and great defensive performance. Absolutely.
So
Uh,
did you see the stat on quarterbacks to make the Super Bowl in their second year? How they fared after losing said Super Bowl? None of them have made it back. So how do you think New England fans are feeling about May right now?
well, they're not feeling great, uh, nor should they. I mean, you hope he grows from it. That's all I can say. You hope he grows and gets better. I think he'll only get better. But he was not good Sunday, and a lot of it wasn't his fault, but certainly some of it was because he wasn't reading the defenses
Wow. He got
until
fooled a
they.
lot.
Yeah, he got fooled a lot. He the opportunities he did have, he missed throws and missed them bad. Like they were bad misses. He was rattled. He was rattled early. I'm sure it was nerves. He made the moment bigger than he should have. I mean, I know it's the Super Bowl, but you still got to go play. You still got to go play your game and have fun. It's a game at the end of the day. Get to what got you there, and don't make the moment bigger than it should be.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that was what I mean. Some of them are calling it like some of the worst offensive run for the playoffs. I think they broke it down points per drive through the playoffs. They had a lower point per drive than the Cleveland Browns did in the regular season. That's how terrible their offense was in the playoffs.
Yeah, that you beat Denver 10-7, right? Was it 10-7?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then had the refs help you get one over on Buffalo.
Yeah, I didn't. That's a game I missed, so I can't say for sure. But I mean, I'll take your word for it on that. But yeah, I mean, you need luck in the playoffs too. But I mean, ask Tom Brady, Tuck rule, right? But
It's hard to win if you don't score any points.
yeah, you have to score. It helps to score points to win games because you're Gonzalez and the Patriots defense was really good for most of the game, and then the dam finally broke. You knew it would, and by the time I don't know, it was too late. I mean, as in it was clear that New England couldn't do anything offensively. They were so impotent on offense that it just wasn't. Seattle just had to just go not lose basically, or make just enough plays to win, and they did. So
At no point was I don't think anybody fearful that New England was going to mount a comeback in the second half. That's how
well,
awful.
yeah, absolutely. But congrats Seattle, congrats Sam Darnold and company. Happy for him. I would have liked to have seen Hunter Henry get a ring, but yeah, maybe if he goes to
as,
another team.
as our buddy Luke said, I don't care about Hunter Henry's already perfect life. I don't care if he wins a ring.
I agree with that more so. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, I'll just go with that. I agree. Scratch what I said. We'll go with what you said and what Luke said. Good call, Luke. I agree. Speaking of Razorbacks, they play tonight at 8 o'clock, right? At LSU, the basketball team.
Yes.
All right. Woo pig on that. I am going to check that out. I did see, I hadn't watched since, I guess, the Saturday before last when they lost at home to Kentucky. They got the job done against Mississippi State. I didn't see that one. I was at a race Saturday morning. Of course, it was a morning game, so I didn't see it. By the time I got home, it was all but over, or it was over actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, Arkansas at LSU. Who do we have? I'll go with the Hogs in Baton Rouge. What about you?
I want to go with the Hogs, but they've been a mixed bag on the road this season. I mean, I'll do a homer pick, but it's going to be close.
Okay, well, we both have the Hogs, and we're out of time, so we'll see y'all next time. Till then, I'm Graham Powell.
Brother Brown.
Deuces, y'all.
Peace.